Hello everyone. Today I am going to be doing a video on, well, several videos because it takes so long, on the Space Marine Codex, 6th edition, and how good it is strategically. And I'm doing this because I've looked at quite a lot of videos, well, I've looked for videos on the new 6th edition Codex, and there isn't that many about, and there isn't that many podcasts about because it's still quite new. And I've been asking questions, been running around the tree about this codex quite a bit. I like it. I think it's good. I think it can win tournaments if you are good with it. I'm going to make references to the 4th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex and the 5th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex. Yes, the 4th as well as the 5th. Because this is closer towards the 4th than it is the 5th. And the 4th, if you remember, you Iron Warrior veterans, was awesome. That beautiful Demon Prince you beautifully made, all them points, nicely put into it, what you wanted. Lots of tanks, lots and lots of tanks, all day, obliterators, troops. Your enemy dies, you fight Eldar, you become Even Stevens, which is what used to happen. But I was quite young during that time, so I didn't have Iron Warriors. I had a Demon Prince. I was almost there. I'm also going to talk about its relevance to the Demon Codex, because that's your only Battle Brothers in the Codex. Allies. And my phone just went off. First I'm going to talk about the HQs. You all know the HQs if you have a book. Obviously, there's Abaddon, first up. 265 points, 10 points less than last Codex, 10 points more than 4th. Exactly the same stats line as 4th and 5th, I believe. He doesn't change much. He is fearless, eternal. He's the only eternal in the Chaos Space Marine book. Yes, the only one. So Demon Princes aren't. He has Black Crusader, Warlord trait, so it gives people preferred enemy. You now have to select between his two weapons which one you use, which I think is quite good. Because now instead of beating yourself in with your own demon weapon, you can pick to smash him in the face with the Talent of Horus. If you're only fighting power armor. It takes 4 attacks base, but then he has 2 specialist weapons, so +1. And then he has Rage and Counterattack because of Mark of Khorne in his Mark of the Ascendant rule. So he has 7 attacks, standard. You charge, that's +1 and again. So that's 8 attacks on charge. If you want to use Daihatchin, that's an extra d6. That's a lot of attacks. That's 14 tops you can have. At Strength 5, AP 2. If you're fighting Space Marines, you get rerolls on all ones when you're hitting and wounding. They're going to die. Everything will die. 8 attacks with Talon of Horus, you Strength 8. Use it on Lords. They're going to die. There's no two ways about it. If you fight Abaddon, you're more or less dead. If you shoot Abaddon, you've got a better chance of surviving. So for all you Chaos players, if you have Abaddon, find a way to keep him alive. I say Terminators. Only 4. Less than 150 points because they will be bullet shields and meat shields for him to survive and kick the cojones out of your enemy. But more on that later. It makes chosen troops, which I think is a nice thing. Although your troops now, instead of being 13 points or 18 points, you get extra choices for weapons, so you can have 5 plasma guns in a unit of troops, which is quite nice for sitting on an objective. Or 4 plasma cannons and an autocannon if you want to be useful. I used to take him all the time in 5th. I didn't take him that much in 4th, mainly because he only really killed 1 a turn. Not 1 person, but 4 attacks, 1 was instant death. Now he's got potential for having 8 instant death attacks. I can see all you going, but he's so expensive. He's the same points, more or less, as minus Calgar. He's infinitely better than minus Calgar. If you put them in a 1-on-1, he will lay minus Calgar out on the floor. Minus Calgar beats him with his trait, though, because Space Marines are annoying. But yeah, I'd take him. But you'd have to design the list around him. So you'd have to have him with a unit with him, with either a Land Raider or a bigger unit with him, or you deep strike him, something like that. But aim for the strongest thing in your enemy's army all the time. It will die to Abaddon. Even the Nightbringer, who in 5th used to be the only one to stop Abaddon. Nightbringer and Gazgul, when he warged, to give him a 2-up invuln. They were the only 2 that gave Abaddon a problem for fighting. Everyone else he hammered into the ground, basically. So yeah, this one is probably going to do similar. Take him, design a list around him. You have to. He's not just a little add-on. He's 250 points. 265, sorry. Second one is Horan Blackheart. He's got a very, very big upgrade from 5th, and he wasn't around in 4th. In 5th, I didn't see the point of him. He had a Power Axe, he had a Power Fist, and a Flamer. And he was the same points as Calm. And Calm was more fun. Now he's Strength 4 with a Strength 6 weapon, or Strength 5 weapon, at Initiative 1 with his axe. His Talon is now a Power Claw at +2 Strength that always moves on 2s, which is useful. Run up to a Tyrant or something like that and give it a nasty tickle. He's a 4-up invuln now. He used to have a 5-up. His Warlord trait is Master of Deception. Infiltrate 3 D3 units. Basically, you move them closer if they're assault units, and then you don't if they're sit on objective units in your home. His psychic thing that goes off every now and then, I'd say it's a useful thing, but don't rely on it. You're not going, oh, I want this specific one out of this specific thing. Psychic power, sorry. You're going, he wounds everyone on 2s with rerolls at AP3. He's the Talon of Horus side of Abaddon. Okay, he's not getting instant deaths for being Strength 8, but he wounds everything on 2s, which is useful. And also he has a Power Axe, which is AP2, which is a tiny bit like Abaddon. So it's like a really, 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 really cheap side of Abaddon. The next one is, well, for using him, I'd put him in a standard unit of Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines. Don't put him in a standard unit of Space Marines because they turn around and shoot him. But yeah, they'd be nice. Don't put him in a Rhino. It's 6th edition. Your Rhino will die. Don't bother buying a Land Raider for him. It doesn't seem worth it. He has a heavy flamer. I forgot about this. He has a heavy flamer in his Talon. Useful for clearing out hordes because he doesn't have that big of an attack amount. He only has 3 attacks standard. So his flamer helps with clearing out hordes before he charges. And his claw helps on tagging monstrous creatures or extra toughness things. So he's also a Space Marine, so it can hit Space Marines, anything below a Space Marine, have a go at monstrous creatures. I wouldn't declare him as Monster Creature Hunter. Don't mess around with Terminators. You become Initiative 1 with your axe. Your main weapon is your claw. Stick with that. Use your axe only in desperation. That's what I'd say. The next one is Khan the Betrayer. Oh, how you've stayed exactly the same. Basically, the only thing that's changed for Khan is the Mark of Khorne. Instead of having +1 attack, you now have counterattack and rage, which is +2 attacks when you charge, which doubles up with counterattack. So if you are charged, you pass your leadership, you get 2 attacks. Never charge anything with that. Never charge a Mark of Khorne thing. Never get charged by a Mark of Khorne thing. It will rip you up. Khan himself will rip everything up, even his own friends. He has 5 up invulnerable, so he's not very survivable. He's not eternal, only toughness 4. Missiles will hurt. Hits everything on 2s regardless of weapon skill. You got to remember that it's if they have a weapon skill. If they don't, then it hits them according to the standard rules. It has hatred against everything, and so does the unit he starts with. So it hits on 2s with re-rolling all them 1s, which used to kill your friends. So the first turn of every combat, you get to not kill your friends, which is nice. I had a time when, in the last codex, I ran him in. He killed 3 of his own people and 1 of them. And then he was the last guy left because there was only 5 Khorne Berserkers to take 3 Power Fists. Ow, didn't work. And then, yeah, he died later on. With him, I'd say take a Land Raider and 9 Khorne Berserkers with no upgrades. You'd say, oh, that's expensive, that's really harsh, but he can get out and take most things. He can take tanks and dreadnoughts because his axe gives him 2d6 against vehicles. He can go against Psychers and go 2+ on your Deny the Witch. He basically is a thorn, I'd say I have him as a description. A thorn that needed to get rid of, that's already stuck into your enemy. If he charges into a unit, he'll 9 times out of 10 get rid of that unit. But don't let him get suckered into challenging all the time like he has to. That's why you keep him with a unit of something and then get that champion to challenge, challenge their champion, and he has the freedom to butcher squad. It works. I'd say he works. The idea of him works. He's only 160 points, nice and cheap. Go for it, I'd say. See how he goes. I'd say he's not a tournament winner or one I would take for a tournament. I'd say he's more of a fun. It's a yes, but it's not a tournament. It's a fun thing. Next one, Araman. I don't like him that much. I've never really had a shining to him. Mastery level 4 is really good, but if he could stop disciplines on stop Deny the Witches on 3+, that'd be a lot better. If he didn't have, well, he doesn't have a Psychic Hood, so he can't do it with anyone in 6th inch. It's just him and his squad. He makes, oh yeah, Khan makes Khorne Berserkers troops, which makes troops better. I don't like the standard troops at the moment for 6th. That's why you have to have your special ones. Araman also makes 1,000 Suns troops, I've never took a shine into the Thousand Suns, so I apologise if I seem a bit against them. Only Tzeentch thing I ever enjoyed was giving your Demon Prince in the last edition Mark of Tzeentch, because then he survived more, and you could have 2 powers setting off the same turn. And then they FAQ'd the powers, and then it was like, now I don't really have anything else apart from Abaddon to take. But now, I'd say no to Ahriman. He could be a tournament one, but I don't see it much working. I'd say it best work if you had Ahriman and then a sorcerer with level 3 but no mark, and then nothing but 1,000 suns. Then you'd have 7 psychic powers a turn from your 2 lords, and psychic powers from each champion in each squad a turn. So you can have up to 13 psychic powers going off a turn. That'll hurt. Sorry. I've just eaten a nut bar and drinking some blood. That would work as a nice list. Psychic barriers everywhere. Deny the Witches on 5s, pluses and 4 pluses. Ripping up squads that don't have AP3 all round. He's more of a support, use his powers, have something else that has powers, bash them together, 7 powers a turn for 300-ish points. That's nasty. I wouldn't say he's an out in the front with me person charging into the hardest bit of your enemy's army like Abaddon or Khan does, because he will die. He can turn things into... He can't turn anything. Can he turn things into spawns anymore? He could, but that's a 1 in 3 chance. I wouldn't rely on spawns anymore. For powers. I wouldn't rely on your powers in this book as well. I'd go for the powers in the main books. But make sure you have a nice spread of your disciplines with that. For 7 powers, you have 1 Tzeentch, because Ahriman has to take a Tzeentch, and then 3 on one, 3 on the other with your other sorcerer, and then your individual Tzeentch ones have to take Tzeentch. So you have 6 on the rulebook tables, and quite a few. You have up to 7 on your Tzeentch table. Can work. I haven't tried it. I'm never going to try it. I'll try and stay away from psychic powers. Typhus. He's the Nurgle Lord. He's awesome, this one. Because the upgrade of toughness, he can only be instant death by instant death weaponry and strength 10. That's it. He can make zombies into... Make cultists into zombies. Making zombies into zombies is not working. Make cultists into zombies, which makes cultists a lot better. He unlocks Plague Marines as troops. He is also a get inside a Land Raider, run into the middle of your enemy's army, kill the hardest thing. He's one of them. He's a Psyker, Strength 6, AP 2, weapon. Goes at initiative 1, but his toughness 5, got 2 up armor save, 5 up invulnerable, 5 up feel no pain, 4 wounds. He's not going to die in combat in 1 round. Against Terminators with Thunderhammer, Storm Shields, and Power Fists and Lightning Claws, he comes out of it with 2 wounds and they're all dead. Because he's that tough. Because although you're Strength 8 and Strength 8, Power Fists and Thunderhammers, he still gets a 5 up, 5 up against it, which is better than a 4 up. So it's in the middle of a 4 up and 3 up and a 4 up for a save, which is useful. I'd take him. I've taken him in a few lists. His trait is Warp Lord of Terror, so if your enemy who charges you isn't fearless, take a leadership check to attack me, which makes him even more survivable. So if you got them cheeky guardsmen that are getting you to roll all them ones and getting all them sixes like magic, it's happened a few times, say, take a leadership check before you do the magic. Ha ha ha. You're dead. I'd take him. He stands with Abaddon as two of the hardest guys in this book. They are, really. They run into a squad, clear it off the board, run into the next squad, clear it off the board, continue. Lucius the Eternal is the next one. He's a very nice scrap guy. He stands level with Khan, with points, and with what he does. He runs into a unit, challenges, kills that, and then he slowly beats up these units. He has a Power Sword, a Doom Siren, Strength 5, AP 3, auto hits, so 3s to kill Space Marines. Knocks down quite a lot, helps him get rid of hordes. I don't know what that was. He Armor of Shrieking Souls. Every time he passes armor save, whoever gave it him gets a Strength 4 AP 2 hit. So forced to get rid of more enemy squads if you're going on the average toughness of 4. Lash of Torment, -1 attack. Quite neat. He has the shred ability on his Power Sword. Makes Noise Marines troops, which is nice because Noise Marines are always being there. Lots and lots of shots from 6 guys. You get heavy bolter shots on standard dudes, more or less, with the amount of shots you have. You have 18 shots from 6 people. I take that every day of the week. Oh dear. This next one is one you should ignore at all costs. Ignore at all costs. Fabius Bile. I've seen few things of him saying he's worth it, he buffs your troops are important. He buffs 1 unit of troops, he makes them fearless, and +1 strength. Useful for in combat and stuff, but that's all he does. 165 points. He has a demon weapon, and actually I'm not sure if he even is a demon weapon, but it has a weapon that inflicts instant death. That doesn't have an AP value. Yay, armor save. Oh, look, I passed. Ha ha ha. Never, no, just no. Don't bother. Don't look at him. Don't turn to page 63 and try arguing that he could be worth it. No. Anyway, turn on from the standard generic Chaos Lord. This is why I'm going to reference to 4th quite a lot. Remember in 4th, your Lord was 60 points. Remembering now, your Lord is 65 points. You have +1 weapon skill from 4th edition Lord. And then everything else is the same. You buy your upgrades exactly the same as you were if you were a 4th edition Lord, but you didn't turn him into a Demon Prince. You can make it as cheap or as expensive as you want. I'd say keep it below 170. If you're going above 170, you've got to justify having him with his mark instead of one of the others. Because like, if you have 170 points of Lord of Khorne, put him up against Kharn, see who wins. Same with Lucius and Slaanesh, and Typhus and Nurgle. If you somehow manage to push 200 points on your Nurgle Lord, why didn't you just take Typhus? Anyway, you can give him a lot of variation of things. Give him a demonic mount, give him a bike, jetpack. He can go with fast attacks quite nicely. He can go with Terminators quite nicely. He can go with standard units quite nicely. He can go anywhere, do anything. He's a multi-talented, multi-personal dude. I'd say be careful, though. I know lots of people say give him the Black Mace. Give him the Black Mace. But the Black Mace is only AP 4. You're going to be allowing armor saves. And your other demon weapons are either AP 2 or AP 3, which denies quite a few armor saves. Also, with mounts, don't have him on his own. He's never going to be an Eternal Warrior. You can't make him. You can make him toughness 6 if you give him Nurgle and a bike, which is fun, which is what I do. Because then the only thing that can instant death him is an instant death weapon. And it only makes him 100-ish points to start with, and then you give him a badass weapon. I've given mine the Murder Sword. Because if you're on a bike, you're going to get to who you want to murder. Because you can move that fast. But you always need a unit with him, or something to support him. Something that amplifies how good he is by doing the same thing he does. Rolling your Warlock traits, always pick Chaos. Always. Doesn't matter what you think your armor will benefit from, pick the Chaos one. Unless you have like 20 reserves and you haven't bought a com, really. Which is silly. Okay, moving on. The Sorcerer. 15 points more than was in 4th. Cheaper than he was in 5th. Does exactly the same here now that it did in 5th. But for less points. More upgrades. What I would do is give him the extra 2 levels, a Sigil of Corruption, and a Spell Familiar. No mark. Because if you give him a mark, he has to take power from that table, from the mark. And I don't like them. As I believe I stated before, I don't like them. I like the Biomancy and I like Pyromancy. I'm not too sure about Telepathy at the moment, but I like them too. So, I have a 3 up armor, 4 up invuln, 3 psychic powers a turn, re-rolling failed psychic power checks, 3 Biomancy or Pyromancy powers, have a power sword, don't go for a power maul, it doesn't work, I tried it. Don't go for an axe, you're going to go last and get yourself pasted. Yeah, so have the Sigil as your defensive thing, has the Spell Familiar for helping you do your psychic powers, and then have 3 psychic power levels, so you deny on 4+, and then fire 3 off of turn. Nice little thing, and that's only 150 points. That's all it is. That's nasty stuff you can do. The next one is a Demon Prince. Oh, and the Sorcerer can have a bike or a jetpack or Terminator armor, exactly like the Lord. The Demon Prince, I'd say no. Don't take him. Poor thing. In 4th, it was amazing. In 5th, it was only amazing if you took him with Slaanesh and Lash or Tzeentch and 2 powers. Don't ruin your army by trying to justify taking a Demon Prince again. I'm sure someone somewhere will go, oh look, if you have this and this, at some point, it will justify taking him. But for now, I can't see one. I'd say Tzeentch, power armor, maybe wings, maybe not wings. Wings will get you there faster, but if you get shot down, everybody's going to pick on you. You're not immune to instant death. You're not an Eternal Warrior. You need upgrades. You're on 180 points for your mark and your power armor, which you need. I wouldn't that much. I'd say hope and pray that your aspiring champions turn into demon princes and just waltz around the field, going, "Oh look, I'm a demon prince. Oh, and I'm free. And I'm meant to be 160 points, but no, I'm free. Ah." Run into something, smash it in the face. Also, if that happens to your aspiring champions, don't try and protect them. It's a free demon prince. Run into things. Kill. Everyone says don't roll on the burn table, try not to, because you might turn into a spawn. Equal chance of turning into spawn as you are in a demon prince. Also a giant chance that you get something that could be beneficial or could just be... And there's a chance that nothing could happen. A spawn is better than some champions. Yeah, it is. However, if your Lord and your Sorcerer turn into a spawn, you'd be kind of miffed. Especially if it's like Abaddon, or your Lord that has 200 points. Why did you take the Lord? Type of things. I'd say try it out with the Demon Prince. Try, play test. If you have a nice little do this with him, stick it up on a comment, please. I'll go, But at the moment, it's a bit... Anyway, now on to the two newest ones, the Warpsmith and Dark Apostle. The Warpsmith is basically a hold the fort HQ. He messes up your opponent's defences, he fixes tanks. I'd see in 6th edition, what would be a nice thing if you had the triple Land Raider rush, which you can do in Chaos, because your Land Raiders are a bit cheaper, troops cheaper, then just have Abaddon and some Terminators in the middle one. And then have the Warpsmith behind hiding in a Rhino. You say, don't take Rhinos though. No. But you can make a nice protective little triangle around your Rhino and just go headbutt things across the board and fix your Land Raiders while you're there. I would never use him in combat. He is specifically there for fixing your tanks, and he's specifically there not to die or fight. He has a flamer, but if you're using that, question yourself, how have you got to the scenario where you've had to use his flamer to use Wall of Death to try and deny charge or run up to a squad and use it? Because with his 2-up armor save and his power axe, he ain't going to do that much. He's going to hang around a bit with his 2-up armor if there's no power weapon around. But if there's like Terminators and things there, he's dead. I wouldn't buy him upgrades. I'd say stick him with a unit at home like Havocs, fixie tanks, mess up your opponent's Aegis defense lines. Nice 70-point upgrade. Oops. Now you've got a 6-up cover. Enjoy. Could you shout a defense on fortifications? Please comment below if you think yes. Apart from that, he's quite cool. Cheap, 110 points, no upgrades, never give him upgrades. Don't even give him Vets of the Long War, he's a leadership 10 anyway. Yeah, just how he is, hide him at the back, keep him out of the way. You'll be nice and safe. The last one, Dark Apostle. Maybe, is what I'd say. He's fearless, he gives everybody his leadership within 6-inch. He has 4-up invulnerable, 3-up armor, 2 wounds, 2 attacks. Only 2 attacks. Basically, what's it going to do? There's going to buffer squad go with me, charge into something and fail. Because he's not Khan. He's not Typhus. He is not Lucius. He's not Abaddon. He's not a Demon Prince. He's not a Lord. He's a sorcerer that is quite arrogant and doesn't have any psychic powers. That's what he is. He's not worth it by much, I'd say. Out of all, I'd say no to him. For overall, for all HQs, Abaddon, yes, but make a army around him. Horan, yes, he's a good additional one. If you want to build your army first, then add a HQ. Khan, yes, if you want Berserker heavy. Araman, only if you're going full out Zinch. Only. And then you want a normal Sorcerer Lord that I've described before with him. So you have 7 psychic powers a turn. Typhus, yes, but you want Nurgle with him. Lucius the Eternal, yes, I'd say. Because, you can have Noise Marines with him, but you don't really need Noise Marines with him. It'd be good to have a few, but then have some standard Chaos ones because your Noise Marines might get a bit too expensive. If you're going for the full cannons and everything. Fabius, no. Generic Lord, yes, keep it under 170 points. Sorcerer, yes, just do what I said. 150 points, 3 levels, rerolls, and 4 up in Von. Demon Prince is still a question mark. If you think yes, show us what you think he should have. If you think no, don't take him. Warpsmith, yes, hide him at the back of the board. If you're one of them people who never use your lords to do anything in an army, you just use the army itself. Say like Space Marines with a captain, because you've got a captain because it's the cheapest thing in the Space Marines, so you're not making him do anything. But yeah, keep him hidden, but yes. Dark Apostle, no. I will be doing a few more videos on other things, such as the troops, the elites, the fast attacks, and the heavies. And then one on your demon allies, because that's the only one you should ever pick. Apart from maybe Imperial Guard, so you can have a Manticore. Apart from that, would you have Orcs? No. Dark Eldar? Not really. I wouldn't. In fact, I would, because Dark Eldar's better. But you wouldn't be able to pick everything you wanted. Anyway, I'll do more on allies later. Please subscribe, like, thank you. No. Subscribe, like, comment. Thank you for watching. Troll if you want. I enjoy it, it's funny. And thank you. See you later.